Hey guys, so welcome back. So far, we have been talking about family worship. What is it? What could it look like in your home? But I know that some of these conversations can still be a little bit overwhelming. So we have compiled a list of things that you may want to sit down and talk with your spouse about before you start implementing family worship at home. I heard a story recently of a couple who both grew up in solid Christian homes. Each child grew up in a home where there was family worship. The wife grew up in a home where the father always led family worship, and the husband grew up in a home where mom always led family worship. So they get married, they have their own children, and for years, they didn't do family worship. Well, it turns out that the mom was always expecting that the father would just go ahead and lead family worship. And the father, because his mom grew up leading family worship, he just kind of assumed that the wife would do it. So that's something that we really want to avoid here. So we're just going to touch on some important conversations that you might want to have. And we'll go ahead and start with question number 1. So sitting down and looking at what time of day you are going to plan on having your family worship. I know for a lot of people, morning times are out. It's hard to get the kids up. It is hard to get yourself up. Everyone has to rush off to work and school. I understand that. For most people, evening time does seem to work better. Our favorite time is right after dinner, because as soon as the last person is done with dinner, we go onto the couch and we know that this is our family worship time. The most important thing is to remember to keep it consistent. Whatever time of day you choose, try so hard not to miss that time of day. And honestly, no matter what you're doing, you can have family worship. We'll talk a little bit about that in a second. The most important thing is having a consistent time, because the consistency is what helps you remember to do it over and over and over again. And that's what helps it become a habit. It will get your kids in the habit. It will get yourself in the habit of just, when you know this is the time that we do this every single night. The nice thing about it is that you can be consistent even if you're not home. So I know sometimes that we go out for dinner or we meet friends or whatever it is. And right after dinner time, we're generally driving home or we're out doing things. And we are even able to do family worship from our car. We'll talk about that later in probably in another video, but just know that consistency is the key. Picking a regular time of day and picking a regular place to have family worship is best. So again, for us, it is after dinner and it is on our couch. Making sure that we have all of our stuff ready and available is also important. So keep that stuff right where your place of family worship is. That will kind of help things flow a little bit easier for you. Question number 2. Who will lead out for family worship, and what elements of family worship are you going to include? Again, because we just had that story of how each spouse grew up in a home where the other parent led family worship, it's so important to have that discussion of who is going to lead and definitely what elements are you going to bring into your family worship. I think also when you talk about the way you grew up and if you had family worship or if you didn't, you can have those conversations of, I really like this about family worship, but I didn't like that. Or I never grew up having family worship. I don't know what it looks like. And you can share with each other what you want your family worship time to really look like. So those are important conversations to have. I think it's also important to choose your music, your books, anything that you need so that you have it ready in your place of family worship. So again, ours is on the couch at home. And so all of our stuff is right there on our bookshelf. And so it's super handy. Even little man can go down and grab it and bring it over to us. And so that's pretty awesome. Number 3, what are your expectations for older children or if you have adult children living in your home? So I know that sometimes if you have teenage children and you've not been doing family worship, it can be hard to get them to join you. So one of the best pieces of advice that I got was to just invite them. Let them know that they are welcome to join you. Make it fun, make it enjoyable. If you want to even just play some games and read some scripture, just to kind of get them involved and get them started, I think that's a great way to just really include them. Make it so that they want to be there and spend time with you. Don't make it a time of like punishment or chastisement, because no one is going to want to show up to that. Number 4, how long are we going to spend in family worship? I know some families grew up with longer worship times and some have shorter worship times. The best amount of time for family worship is going to depend on you and your family and what God is calling for you. So pray about it. But I will let you know, if you have smaller children, try to keep it short. 10, 15, 20 minutes is all you really need to start getting in the habit of doing these things. A song, a memory verse for scripture, reading a couple of sentences or a couple of passages, and then singing is just a great way to keep it short, light, and spirited. Number 5, how are we going to manage poor behavior doing family worship? This is so difficult. I understand it is hard, especially because we don't want family worship to be a time of punishment or the kids to feel like they don't want to come to family worship because they're always in trouble. So I will just really encourage you to be calm and be patient. They will learn the skills as we go. It's okay to put your kids on your lap and say, okay, now it's time to read, or we're going to do this, or we're going to do that. Or if they have extra wiggles to get out, sing an extra song where they can get up and do motions and do things like that. You want to help them want to come and worship God, not shy away and be worried that they're going to get in trouble every time they come to family worship. Number 6. So this is less of a question and just more of maybe a comment. I know that if we do family worship in the evening, if it has been a stressful day, I can tend to carry that with me. And so just a quick reminder to just go before the Lord before you start family worship and say, God, just please give me a spirit of peace. Give me your patience so that we can serve you and love you and do it in just a loving way. So I hope that these things have been helpful for you. I hope that you guys will have these conversations with your spouse so that you can talk about what is the best way for your family to do family worship, when, where, what resources, what's going to go into your family worship to make it just right for your family. I pray that you will just be encouraged. And if you don't know, in our church library, we have an amazing set of resources. So we have the My Bible Friends books, a ton of mission books. We have a lot of devotional books and just a lot of resources for you guys. So check it out. And if you check something out from the library, just write it in the book and then bring it back when you're done. I've been gathering all of these really awesome resources for you guys. So I hope that you will take a look at them and that you will enjoy them. And that if this video was an encouragement for you, that you will share it with your friends. And if you have anything that you would add to this list of questions for you and your spouse to have before you start implementing family worship in your home, please share it below. I think it would be helpful for all of us to just get different ideas of questions to have and to think through before we try implementing family worship. So thank you guys, and we'll see you on the next video.